let's dive into the pros of living in Hamilton. One of my favorite pros is probably how culturally diverse this city is. Everybody from all over the world can come here and feel comfortable. I mean, we have so many cultures that mesh so well together that it creates such an amazing scene in terms of the restaurant scene. You get all these diverse restaurants, which are absolutely spectacular to try. That's one of my favorite things about Hamilton is the food. You can ask my wife. I love to eat. We love going out. And then number two, with that, it also brings in some really cool fashion to the scene and so forth. So I love how culturally diverse it is, whether you're, European or from somewhere else, London, like, I don't know. It just, you're allowed to mix in very, very easily and find something, probably a little piece of home in this city, if that makes sense. Number two, you can't talk about Hamilton without talking about the parks and trails. So we have so many fantastic trails in this city and so many amazing parks. I know last week's episode, we were talking about Gage Park. Dave Capretto is on it, how much he loves that area and he sees that it's suited for a lot of growth. Gage Park really is just one of the more beautiful parks. And it's actually, I'll be honest, I never even went down there until I was in my 20s. That's how long it took me to go and visit it because it was just, I was from the West Mountain, and I actually regret that I never went down there sooner because it is absolutely beautiful. As well, if you didn't know, Hamilton is the waterfall capital of the world. Okay, check it out, look it up. We have over 100 waterfalls. I've seen a few of them that are kind of skeptical if that is a waterfall, but I guess it was classified as one, so it added to our ranking. But you definitely want to check out some of the super cool waterfalls that we have all across the city, a lot of which connect with some fantastic trails, whether you're looking to walk or you're looking to cycle. And I guess you can really pick up a trail from anywhere in the city. I'm going to go ahead and throw in with the trail, the Hamilton Stairs. If you're not familiar with it, Hamilton has stairs because our city is two levels. We have a lower and we have, the upper mountain. There are stairs that you can walk that connect the upper to the lower, and they're all across the escarpment. People love doing them for exercise, but they're also a great way to get around if you don't want to take transit. Number three, recreation and entertainment. So this is probably one of my favorite parts of Hamilton. Anybody that knows me knows that I love going out. I love trying new restaurants, and just really enjoying everything that the scene has to offer. We have some really cool streets in Hamilton that are dedicated to this. Number one being Locke Street is one of the trendiest streets in Hamilton. It has amazing restaurants with a lot of just different unique styles to them. You're going to enjoy checking that out. As well, James Street North. This was a street that when I was younger was not necessarily considered the nicest street. It was known for having a lot of older Italian and Portuguese shops and markets in it. However, in the last 10 years, it really got revitalized. What happened was a lot of restaurateurs came in and started putting up these really cool, unique restaurants and eateries and coffee shops. And it just created this vibrant scene that is something that I think you can be really proud of as a Hamiltonian to have that in your city. Just, I think it was a couple weeks ago with Supercrawl. I went down to that. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Went to Supercrawl, went to that, had an absolute blast. It was so much fun. And that's just one of the cool things that you get to experience living in Hamilton. And what that is a festival on that James Street North where they shut down the whole street. They just pack thousands of people in there, and it is just super, super cool. So definitely you want to check that out as well. We have to touch on it. I was going to call it Ivor Wynn Stadium. Tim Hortons Field is our stadium here where you can watch the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who are a fantastic CFL team. It's always a great environment, always a good time, full of great energy, especially when they're winning. And as well, one team that plays there that is always overlooked, and a lot of people I feel like don't even know exist, but I'm a season ticket holder to, is Forge FC, which is our soccer team that plays in the Canadian Premier League. Now, this is so much fun, super cool event. The stadium is state of the art. It has great vendors. The food's great. Just the entertainment's always good. Location could be a bit better. There's not a lot of parking, which is probably one of the biggest downsides to it, is that parking situation. But once you're there, you're at the game, you're in there, you're going to have some fun. Number four, we have a major, well, I wouldn't say it's major, but we have an international airport. So we have an airport, John C. Munro Airport, which actually I recently just sold a house that he used to live in the 50s. Pretty cool. And that's not why I'm mentioning this. I mention it because there are a lot of direct flights that come from that airport. Like you can connect out to Vegas, Cuba, Cancun, all these destinations down south. They change the schedule seasonally. So I believe for the summer, they fly to a certain set of destinations. And then in the winter, they start flying to those more Caribbean destinations. The cool thing about it, you don't have to wait at Pearson, which I believe was recently ranked one of the worst large airports in the world, just for the way it's functioning right now. But the cool thing is there's only 5 gates at the Hamilton airport. I personally have flown to Cuba out of it, and we got there 2 hours before the flight, international flight. We got there 2 hours before. We were past security and waiting by the gate within 45 minutes. It was just really, really cool experience. My favorite part was not having to do the 45, 50-minute commute to Pearson, park the car, get into the airport, go to your gate, do all that. I mean, if you traveled through there, you know how hectic it can be, especially coming from Hamilton. You always run into traffic if you're driving that way or driving home, unless, of course, you take the 407. So having that airport here is super cool. One other thing about it, it's a big commercial airport, so there are a lot of jobs that surround that airport. It's a cool thing that I think is really overlooked by a lot of Hamiltonians, but definitely you should consider utilizing it. Number 5, we have a ton of incredibly diverse neighborhoods. Now, I know I touched on the culturally, but this is diverse in terms of lifestyles that you want. What I mean by that is we have a downtown core. If you want to be somebody that wants to work, live downtown, don't want to own a car, you want to walk for your groceries, walk to go to nightlife, walk to go to restaurants, you want that kind of young, bustling life, it's absolutely there. We do also have the option, on the Hamilton Mountain where you get these more suburban areas that are quieter, more family oriented, and as well, really depend on your budget. You can pick what kind of area you want to fit into, whether you want the big lots, or you want the bigger homes, or you want to be in the condo. We just have so many styles of homes, areas, locations that really, really suit the needs of anybody. That's why I really think that there is a place for everybody in Hamilton, depending on the lifestyle that you want to live. Anyways, I know these are just 5 pros that I came up with. I'm sure there are many more. If you guys have a pro, go ahead and drop that in a comment below. I would love to hear what you have to say and what some of your favorite parts of the city are. Taking